So this color pencil video, we're going to take a look at first just kind of laying out an object. So I'm using my 2H pencil very lightly. Hopefully you can barely see this. I've got my sphere and a cast shadow for my sphere. And basically with color pencils, just like we did in our study sheet, I'm going to start to build those up very slowly. So here I'm just going to kind of put a little bit of yellow down where I kind of want maybe more of the highlight coloration to hit. If we remember spheres, we have gradual transitions, so I might overlap a little bit of that yellow with a little bit of some orange. I'm doing a stroke where I'm kind of coming in a cross contour method, or if you want to think of it almost as a cross hatch. It's just very rounded because my sphere is round. And I'm going to kind of build up into my shadowed side of my sphere. So again, transitioning that form shadow down. And starting to just keep a light pressure all the way through where I want my object to be placed. And then kind of coming back in and starting to layer. So again, if I go one direction, much like our technique studies and our modeling that we've done on a value scale, I'm going to start to come in other directions. A little bit difficult with my camera stand to get my hands where I want them to go. So sometimes you got to move your body if you can't move your paper. Building up a heavier layer now, where I'm kind of starting to apply a little bit heavier pressure to my second cross layering of my color. I'm keeping this zone right here barely covered with any pencil so that it can stay fairly light. But I'm going to end up building this into a burnish after I do my varying pressure weight. So here I've pressed lighter with my pencils. Here I'm starting to push those pencils down a little bit heavier. If I want a softer look, I may stop with just these colored pencils going into place. Notice I'm using the side of the pencil as I start to Get a little bit of a heavier layer going in and blending into that zone next to it. Might build up my core shadow in here now. Again, there's nothing wrong with keeping your color pencil layering fairly light. But some of us, again, like to move into a heavier pressure. So as far as pressure goes, I'm right now doing just a varied pressure. I'm getting thicker, darker variation, lighter variation from how heavy I'm pressing on the page. If I wanted to utilize like a sense of light, let's say I want to keep this background. So using that white, I can kind of get some of this to smear and bleed and visually start to blend together, almost get a little slight variation of getting it to mix. As I do that, watch what happens in this area where I've got some color mixing going on. So basically what I'm doing is burnishing at this point with the colors that I have in place. So keep in mind, you could apply heavy pressure with your pencils and utilize your colorways. That would, with my Crayolas, be my preferred way to go. If you've got Prismacolors, you might find your wax will start to melt a little bit better with the Prismacolor pencils by using the colorless blender. So from about here to here, I've done that with this white pencil. Notice I'm getting a little bit of a whitish haze in here. If I just come through with the heavier pressure, just utilizing the pencil and working a heavier color, I'll be able to keep the sense of color more opaque. I'll get rid of that texture of the paper, and I won't get such a pasteled sort of quality in the end with the heavy pressure. You do need to be careful when if you do decide to do a heavy pressure with pencil. Often what starts to happen is the pigment won't stay anymore on the paper, and you'll end up with something called wax bloom, which I am starting to get from these pencils. It looks hazy, like this spot where I did this white. I'm gonna try to get some wax bloom built up here in the sphere, for you, so that maybe you can kind of see what that's gonna look like. I'll even throw some orange back down on top of that white just to kind of not make it look like I changed colors. So now as I'm doing just a heavier pressure with the pencil, that would be my preferred way to use these Crayola pencils, is just to really get in there and change the pressure weight with color. And then if I have a spot that I am trying to keep white, like in here, then I would kind of come in with the white and use it with a lot of heavy pressure next to whatever light color I'm using in that zone. So the wax bloom, kind of starting to get it in this area just a little bit. It definitely looks like I'm getting wax bloom where I've been burnishing with this white pencil over here. That's mostly because it's a white pencil that I'm using as my blending tool. So remember to kind of work the color and get it more painterly with pencil, I could use a white as a blending tool. I bet if I do it over here, you'll really see that with the dark color on the video camera. This is I'm popping through, applying more violet. Notice my violet's starting to look a little hazy, a little blurry almost. what's happening is I'm applying so much pressure at this point that the paper can't absorb much more of the pigment. So the pigment kind of just starts to slide. I've even got like a little nub in there stuck. Pigment starts to sort of slide away, and all I'm left with is literally the wax that binds the pigment into the pencil. Get a better elliptical edge here, hold on. So with that, what starts to happen is the wax is just sliding around, like wax on a candle, just starts to slide around. And if I take a metal tool of some sort and I start to scratch, you'll see lines where I'm literally scratching the wax off of the surface. But we're going to talk about this with another method here in a little bit with oil pastels. So there's my wax bloom.